Yo, what's up? So the video you're about to watch is actually a call recording from inside our private Christian community, King's Hall. I'll leave it linked down in the description if you want to join. There's a 7-day free trial. You can come see if joining the guys and I is for you. It's fire. I think you'll enjoy this. I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's hop into it. So all of us are in a season of prep for becoming a husband one day. And so just like the first call we did, I want to speak on 7 more ways you can actually begin prep or begin prepping to be a husband. So like I said, if you're going to take notes or you're about to take notes, definitely grab the stuff. You're going to want to do it. So the first one, I want to talk about, do you know your number? And I don't mean your phone number. I'm talking about something different entirely. This is financial, okay? So like I said before we actually started, is there anybody on here who has a semi-clear idea of what they want out of life? What you envision your life to look like, say, 5, 10 years from now? Someone got a clear idea of that? Adrian, you got that?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do an
I do.
exercise real quick. We might do one or two. We'll see. I just want to give you guys an idea. So I'm gonna have to zoom this out a little bit. So if it's a little hard for you guys to see, I apologize. But I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, Adrian, and I just want to give you guys a general idea of. I think most people, most men, don't have an actual idea of how much it costs to have their dream life monthly. What's it going to take? Okay. And so, what I want to actually do is run through a couple of different questions to give you like a wake up call of what it would actually take. Okay. So, Adrian, how many kids do you want? Do you know?
Around 2 to 4.
2 to 4. Let's just go 3 then. Do you want them to have their own bedrooms?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
Their
4 bedroom
own privacy.
house. How much land do you want? Do you want to be on like a farm, like acreage? Do you just want a 1 acre house like in a neighborhood?
A 1 acre house
Okay,
in a neighborhood.
cool. So we'll put 1 acre. Now, I don't, where are you from, Adrian?
I'm from McAllen, Texas.
Texas. Okay. Well, I actually imagine Texas, it's probably not that bad. See, this is going to be a little bit difficult because I don't know the average house price everywhere you go. But in general, this is just a general rule of thumb. This could be widely different if you're in a place like Miami or West Virginia, right? This could vary a lot. So you guys are going to need to be able to do this exercise on your own by looking at housing prices where you live or where you want to live. In general, though, I'm going to go ahead and put it over here. For a 4 bedroom house, your mortgage is probably going to be about $3,500 a month, something like that. That might be on the more generous side. That might be on the higher side, depending on where you live. Okay. Like I said, everyone's from different places. It's kind of hard for me to do all of that for every individual. So you have to do this on your own. But monthly food bill, right? So, Adrian, how healthy do you want to eat? Do you think in the future, like, you think you want to be in the gym and stuff like that?
As healthy as I can, like the
Mhm.
right amount of protein. When it comes down to diets,
Mhm.
I'd much rather just say like a healthy diet, as healthy
Healthy
as I
diet.
can make it.
So the stuff that God made, right?
Yeah.
And I imagine you want your kids to eat the same way and your wife to eat the same way?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I can tell you right, if you're on, I'm going to be kind of generous about this. I'll say 1,500 a month. That's probably what it'll be about. Between none of you have been to the store recently, food is crazy. And if you have 3 kids, you're all eating healthy, it's probably going to be something like that. How about clothes, Adrian? Are you into Gucci and Louis? I doubt it.
No.
But yeah, I was about to say. But you do want your kids to have everything they need. You want your wife to have everything she needs. Same with
Yeah.
yourself. I'm gonna be pretty light here because I don't know about y'all. I'm not really into clothes and stuff like that. It's just not really my thing. I'm gonna put like $200 a month. Nothing crazy. That might be lower. That might be higher. Like I said, everyone should be doing this exercise yourselves. If you're writing, just write down these questions. That way you have them afterwards. How about car payments? Adrian, do you know what your dream car would be?
A Tesla,
A
an
Tesla.
electric car of any kind.
Okay, don't know exactly what the payment would be, but I imagine you want your wife to have something nice too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, here, let me just do this. Actually, take 10 seconds.
I know a lot of people say like trucks and stuff, but
What is the
they're
monthly
just
price for a Tesla? Do you know what model you want?
any model.
Any model, okay. We'll just go with whatever general number ChatGPT gives me.
Yeah.
Okay, about $599 a month. Let's just say 2 of them. So that's 1,200 a month right there for the cars. Okay, let's keep going. How much do you want to save a month, Adrian?
How much do I want to save a month?
Towards maybe buying your guys' first, whether it's buying first home, but even longer term than that, just saving each month. What do you want to save?
All right, so judging from all of that, I would say from like, oh, sorry, that was my dog's 500 to 1,000.
Cool. Let's say
If I'm like,
500.
yeah,
Okay. Do you want to send your kids to private school?
preferably, yeah. I heard is better than public,
Okay. Well,
and I
I'm just
used
gonna
to
let
go
you
to
know
private school.
everything I've heard about private school, it's typically about 1,000 to 1,500 a month per kid. So let's just do 1,000, 3 kids. So that's 3,000 a month. Insurance, I know a lot of people don't know about this. We'll just go super general. It's probably between everything as you get older, like health insurance, dental insurance, car, like just everything. We'll just say 1,000 a month. Entertainment. How often do you want to take the kids out to do stuff, Adrian? Fun experiences, maybe go on I don't know, movie days, you want to take them to sporting events, whatever it is. Do you want to do that pretty
I
frequently?
want to take them like I want to do it pretty frequently, yeah.
Okay,
And
so
of course, depending on like their interests, so
yeah,
frequently.
how much do you think you'd be willing to put into that a month?
I'd be willing to put in around a couple hundreds, like maybe 3 to 500
Okay, cool.
for their entertainment.
Let's say 300 a month. We're going the lower end. I imagine you want to do date nights with your lady, yes? How many do you
Yes, of
think a
course.
month?
Maybe like once or twice a week,
Once or twice a
we
week.
go
Let's
on
go with
date
once a
nights.
week. How much do you think the average date would cost?
At least from what I've heard from my friends, depending on the place, like in the hundreds at
Okay,
least.
let's be light on, let's just say 200 bucks a month on dates. Let's be
Yeah,
light on it. I imagine you want to travel with the family, right? How much do you want to save a month towards travel and vacations?
let's go with 300.
300 a
I want to
month.
try 300.
Okay. And tithing and just giving in general, like in your as your walk, how much do you would be like, oh yeah, I'd be cool giving this much a month?
Let's go with, can we do 200?
200. Let's do it. All right. Let me pull out my calculator. So I'm going to add all these numbers up. So for the
Okay.
mortgage, let's say 3,500 plus 1,500 a month on the food, plus 200 a month, plus 1,200. I'm trying to go down as fast as I can without wasting too much time. Monthly savings, 500. Private school, 3,000. Insurance, 1,000. Entertainment, 300. Date nights, 200. Travel and vacations, 300, and then tithing, 200. Okay. So that comes out to 11,900 a month. Now, you have to multiply that by 1.5 to get a rough idea of what you need pre-tax income. Because remember, the government wants to take a bunch of your money. So I'm going to multiply this by 1.5. 17,850. That would be the monthly income your household needs to have that lifestyle. This should be a wake-up call for everyone in this call. You're going to do this and you're going to be like, oh crap. Especially if you're one of those people that's like, man, I think I want a 911 Porsche. Yeah, you wait, right? Oh, I wanted a house with 5 bedrooms on 10 acres. That mortgage is going to be probably 8 grand a month. And I don't tell this to discourage you at all. Because realistically, let's say you and your wife are working, and let's say for some reason you were splitting it 50-50. Don't get me wrong, this is still a lot, but it's 9 grand a month. That's doable. You both can get to that point. I'm not saying you have to do this next year. I'm not saying this is like the thing you're achieving in 2026. But this is the thing maybe 5-10 years from now you want to get to, right? And so let this be a wake up call. You do this exercise, a lot of you are going to realize, man, for the life I want, man, I got to be making like 20 grand a month. Now, what happens if it's split? Well, that's if it's, split between you and your wife, then it's 10 grand. Okay, cool. But what if you're like me and you're like, man, I want my wife to be able to stay home with the kids when we start having them, right? Now, obviously, you can make sacrifices to this. We could take 3 grand a month off this number just by sending the kids to public school, right? There's definitely some things here that can be changed. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea. Do this exercise, you'll see that number and you'll go, wow, why am I playing video games? Why am I doing the stuff that I am doing? You start looking at this number, you'll be like, wake up call. Do I really need to go buy that? And here's the other piece to that too. This number will also give you a realization of why you don't need to look successful. You don't need to drive some fancy car while you're young. You don't need to be getting no new clothes. You don't need to go to different places so you can flex on Instagram. Some of y'all probably are like, man, I have no desire to do any of that in the first place. I'm just being real. This is why it's so important. Even as you start to make more money, then you and your lady should have a plan of like, we're going to live as far below our means as possible so that we can get to this dream. And let me say this too. Then when you do meet the girl, sit down and have this conversation with her and you guys will come to a number. But this is something I recommend everybody do. Does anybody have any questions, anything they want to talk about in terms of this one? Just as an idea. And I don't even think Adrian's answers were very crazy at all. They're pretty normal answers. This should be a wake up call. Cool. I know everyone, man, people look stressed on this call, bro.
You got
Yeah,
me
man.
thinking, Ryan. You got me thinking, bro.
I know. Yeah. See, now everyone's gonna start reading money books now. See, everyone's about to wake up.
Rich dad, poor dad.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I'm not like I said, I'm not all of this is achievable. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, right? It's all possible, especially if you live in a first world country. It's definitely possible. But for some of you, you might get your number and realize, I really don't need this car or whatever it is, right? Which knocks a lot of money off, right? Maybe for some of you, you might realize, man, this is expensive with 5 kids, but you're also realizing, I don't want to give up having 5 children though. And you're like, man, I'm just gonna lock in. I want all 5 of my kids. I want all 5 little Craigs. I want all 5 of my little Lukes running around the house. Like that's just what I want. You follow me? So this is an exercise for you to do. Hopefully you guys wrote down these categories. If not, you can come back and look at the call recording. But
This is number one. Cool. Ready to go number two? How much time did I take? Oh my goodness. It's 5:23. That was a yap. All right. Number two, learn how to be her safe place, especially emotionally. I don't think I have to talk to you guys about being physically safe around a woman. Here's a news flash for you. Don't hit a woman. Like, wow. That's real advice right there. But no, listen, you got to get this doesn't mean you don't have emotions. I think there's a couple different ways we could go in this. I'll try and keep it shorter for the sake of time. Number one, sometimes she doesn't want a solution, she just wants to vent. And you got to be able to recognize when that is. And sometimes it helps with just asking. I can't remember who I heard talk about that online one time. I think I might have heard multiple people, but just straight up ask, do you want me to like help you solve this, or do you just want me to listen and be present? And if that's the case, you can just listen. Don't tune out. That's the other thing. Don't just be like, oh yeah, I'll listen and then not listen, right? But here's the other key piece to this. The more you grow and the more you guys start to become intimate and that relationship grows, she's going to share with you insecurities or fears or things she's messed up on, whatever it is, things about you that bother her, whatever it is. And you need to be in a place where you don't judge her for it. You don't get mad. You just say, I hear you, and you receive it. A lot of this will come from understanding that when she shares her feelings, or even when she tells you something about you that, like, maybe bothers her, it's not an attack on you. That's actually going to tie into another principle. There's a lot of different areas I can go into this about learning how to be her safe place, especially emotionally. But I think the biggest one is just don't judge, right? It's like if I know there's someone I can go to who's not going to hold it against me, what I tell them, who's not going to bring it up over and over again, who's not going to judge me for it, who's not going to go tell other people, I'm going to feel very emotionally safe around that person whenever I have a problem. And that's going to be the person I go to. And I want that to be you for you and your woman. Amen? Like I said, there's a lot more we can go into in that, but I want to try and keep this light overview. Number three, kind of obvious. We can keep this one short as well. Get fit. I'm sure you don't want a big old wife. Don't be a big old husband. All right. Get in shape, eat right, go to the gym, go on runs, go on walks, have a healthy lifestyle, right? I'm being real. And I'm pretty sure nobody in this call wants an ugly wife. I'm just being real. If you don't want an ugly wife, don't be an ugly husband. If you want a wife who prioritizes her health and her looks and her appearance and all of that, do the same. Go ahead, Luke.
I think there's actually, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that like the health of the state of health that you're at determines the quality of the health of your children
It
whenever they're
does.
born.
It does. There's a specific term for it, but let me give you guys an idea of this. If say your kid hypothetically, oh man, I can't remember the term, but pretty much 80% of your kid's genetics are made up just by the genetics of the parents. However, 20% is based off of nutrition levels, the health that you are at, the physical health that you are at and your wife is at, okay? And so say your kid, their potential height range is like 5'7" to 5'11". Especially as a man, the way you eat will determine whether or not your son is like 5'7", 5'8", or 5'10", 5'11". Your wife, if she lifts during pregnancy, I've been starting to learn about this stuff. Me and my girl have been going into it. If she works out leading up to pregnancy, conception, and then through the early stages of pregnancy and stuff, your kid is predispositioned and is more likely to receive. I don't know if I'd say I'm bro science in this, but like he would basically have genetics that make it easier for him to build muscle compared to other kids. Your kid will literally be more jacked the more fit you are leading up to pregnancy. If you want your kid to play sports, you want your kid hitting taters in baseball, you're like, man, I want my son just cracking somebody on the football field. If that's what you want, leading up to pregnancy, all the way up to like 9 months, you should be training for that. There's ways that you can eat, sleep, lift, all of it that will affect your kid's health. I see a chat coming in. Let me check it.
The principle you were referring to is called the Pareto principle or the 80-20.
Thank you. Yeah. Kevin said, look at Brock Lesnar's daughter. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you guys have seen a picture of her, goodness, bro, the traps on that girl. Oh, my goodness. Like,
And
no
Eddie,
question.
Eddie Hall's son, too.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, that stuff affects it massively. Your wife's health does too, which is why you should also pick someone who prioritizes self-improvement and prioritizes health stuff. But if that's not a reason to get fit, I don't know what is. Even just that's beyond yourself. That's beyond even just your wife. That's the next generation too. Cool. That's number three. Get fit. Cool. Let's go to number four. This is a little mindset shift, little mentality one. I'm very happy I put this in my relationship with my girl very early. I just brought this up. When we have problems, it is always you and I versus the problem. Never me and the problem I have versus you. That will change the tone in which you have conversations when you guys disagree. That'll change the way you word things when you guys disagree. I promise you, when you get married as a young Christian couple, the enemy hates you the most. If you were in the top 500 of his most hated lists, once you get married, I guarantee you, you're in the top like 20. Congrats. You're moving up in the world. But he doesn't like it. Philip Anthony Mitchell talked about that a lot, about how him and his wife, when they first got married, got into arguments all the time. And then one morning, an elder came to them at church, spiritual elder, and told him he had a dream where they're sitting in the kitchen, Philip Anthony Mitchell and his wife, and this man would walk in, whisper something into his wife's ear, whisper something into his ear, back up. They would turn and start arguing, and the man would walk out of the room. Who does that sound like? Sounds like the enemy. It is always you and I versus the problem. It's always you and your girl versus the problem. That just has to be the mentality when you guys get into it. It has to be the mentality, almost borderline, almost like as cliche as it is to say, like how the movies talk about it. It's like you and your girl versus the world. That has to be the mentality. That keeps you united, especially through difficult times, which you definitely will go through. Cool? I feel like this one's kind of straightforward. Anybody got any questions on this though? Any comments, anything they want to talk about? We're doing good on time. It's 5:30. Good? All right, cool. Let's go to number 5. What is number 5? Oh, yeah. Number 5. We talked a little bit about this last week when Braden was in here, but I want to talk about a red pill detox. I'm telling you, if you watch that content for any substantial amount of time the way I did, you picked up insecurities from other men. It's the most odd thing. I never realized it. I thought it was making me, I would never use these words, but I'm going to use them for the sake of talking about the red pill people. I thought it made you more alpha or whatever, the things that they were talking about. No, it just made me insecure. That's really all it did. And the example I gave last week, I'll give it again, is when I first started talking to my girl, whole time, right? I send her a text. She doesn't reply in the first 5 minutes. Whole time she's at the gym. Whole time she's with her family. She's cooking or something like that. Now that I know her hindsight, she was probably reading her Bible. And I'm sitting here, oh, she hasn't responded in 5 minutes because she's texting a different dude. Oh, it's because she's smashing somebody else. That's immediately what started going through my mind, right? Years of healing. I remember thinking that too. I'm like, bro, I just worked on myself for like 2 years and I still have these beliefs. What is wrong with me, right? You don't really realize how much of that stuff is ingrained in you until you actually get out of it. And so a relationship will not fix your insecurities. It will only highlight them. And so, yes, sometimes you might like just notice red flags, but a lot of times you're probably going to notice with a good godly woman that it's like, she does nothing out of the ordinary. Like there's nothing that she's doing that is causing this insecurity to pop up. It's literally just in your own mind. And at that point, that's not her problem. That's yours. And I would hate to see you guys lose a good woman because of the insecurities that another insecure man put in you. You ever listen to some of these dudes talk? I'm not going to throw out names, but you guys know who I'm talking about. They'll say it. Oh, I got heartbroken by one girl and now I'm just a whore. I know one guy was like 28 years old, still in the red pill stuff. And he was like, they asked him like how he got into like this way of life and stuff like that. It was on an Instagram, like the question things. You guys know what I'm talking about, where people ask questions, they respond. He was like, yeah, this girl I really loved when I was 15 broke my heart. I'm like, bro, you're 28. You a grown man. Still living this way because of the girl from when you were 15? Are you serious? Healed people don't think this way. Am I tracking? Anybody got any beliefs they want to like? Man, y'all welcome to. If you got a red pill belief, you're like, nah, man, like this is truth. All women cheat, man. This is truth. If you got something you want to talk about, man, raise that hand. We can talk about it. I'm happy to tell you why you're wrong. Oh man, I mean that in a loving way. But are we good? I love these, man. I get to just yap, say some stuff, tie it back to scripture. But let me say this. Oh, there's a verse. I can't tie this back to scripture. I think it's over in Timothy, 1 Timothy. Perfect love cast out all fear. God did not give you a spirit of fear. And what you'll start to notice is anxiety is so closely related to fear. They're not exactly the same, but they feel the same. That like adrenaline rush you almost get in your body and your stomach is like turning. It's almost like butterflies in your stomach. And maybe you even get to sweating when it's like extreme anxiety. Fear and anxiety feel the same. Anxiety stems from fear in a sense. They're programming you with the anxiety, with the fear, with the lack mindset, which is demonic, by the way. Do I need to go to the garden? I'm not going to go to the garden. If you know, you know. Actually, I will go to the garden because we got new people in here. The first, how do I want to say this? The first temptation in the garden, I would argue even, it wasn't sin, but it pretty much was sin. The first mistake made in the garden was not eating the fruit. It was the fact that Adam and Eve had to walk past all the abundance of the garden and focus on the one thing they could not eat from. They had to focus on the one thing they lacked. God said, of every tree thou mayest freely eat. That's what he said. They had to walk through all the abundance and focus on the one thing they lacked. And it's the same way in dating. If you listen to these red pill people, they will get you to stop focusing on all the godly women, all the growth that you can make, everything that Christ can do, the way that Christ can transform your life, the way that Christ can transform a bunch of other women's lives, all the happy marriages, all the marriages that have a less than 1% divorce rate because they pray over each other every day. Don't focus on that. Focus on the hope. Focus on the women that cheated on you when you were 14. That's programming. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just gonna say, like, most of the people that do all of, like, the red pill content aren't even like married or anything. Like, they're just basing their experiences off of like failed relationships, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like going to a fat guy and being like, yo, how do I get fit? What? Why am I going to ask that guy? By the way, I'm not married, so don't take my advice. Granted, I'm going to be. I feel like my advice is pretty biblically accurate, but you don't have to take it. Like you don't have to. I would recommend it, but you don't gotta. I don't want to be anything like them. Bro, some of those guys are drifting towards 50 years old. No wife, no kids. Bro, that is depressing.
Just
Go ahead,
hookups.
Luke. You said what is Aaron?
Just hookups. Like no, nothing serious. Just hookups. Clean prostitutes. Like yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, that red pill movement is that red pill movement and another kind of movement for women. Those things are out there for isolation purposes. But that's not what I was going to get into. I think the garden thing that you're talking about, I think it could be considered a sin because Jesus says in Mark, I believe, that what is in the heart does not defile a man, but it's whatever comes out from the heart that defiles them. And so Adam and Eve, the desire or that feeling of lack, that something was missing, was in them, and it wasn't bad until they took action on it by ignoring all the other fruits in the garden. Doing nothing is still doing something, right? So by them ignoring all the other fruits, it's still them choosing to do an action, which is ignoring the other fruits, seeking after the one that they can't have. And by them having it and by them conversing with the serpent, that was the fruits from their heart taking place and cultivating into what we have today.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. I want to iterate this too. I found out recently that there's something now online called the pink pill, which is like the red pill, but for women. And I hear all this stuff. I don't know if guys have ever heard of the black pill. It depends how chronically online you are. If you're chronically online the way I was, then you know about the black pill. It's pretty much guys that think if you're not like stereotypical Chad who's like 6'3", like just hang it up. Just end it all and ask God for a respawn. That's basically what they say. Like you have no hope if you're not 6'3". You got the black pill, you got the red pill, the blue pill, the pink pill, all these pills. It's just kind of like the actual health industry today, the pharmaceutical industry. A pill is nothing more than what? Something that just temporarily medicates the symptoms, suppresses the symptoms. Yeah. You need actual nourishment to change your health. And what did Jesus say? I am what do you call the word? The bread. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. What did he say? Those who drink of the living water shall never thirst again.
Dang, that's so fire, bro.
You don't need no red pill. You don't need no pink pill. You don't need no blue pill. You need Jesus. You need the bread. You need the living word.
The beginning of
living
John.
water. That's what you need.
In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God.
Amen. In the beginning was Jesus, and Jesus was with God, and Jesus was God. Azarian throwing me up 100s right now. I didn't even know you could do that on Zoom. How'd you even do that? Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. We all gonna have to start singing in here. Go ahead, Craig.
Oh, real quick, so I know you gotta move on to the other
You're good.
other points. So just to backtrack on the red pill thing, it's so crazy. Like this is like a part of my testimony and stuff, but yeah, I was very lukewarm at the time, very lukewarm, and I had like stuff that happened. It wasn't even like a relationship for it. It was only just like 3 weeks, like a month, and then it's like now that I'm looking, I can like look back at it and be like, you know what? Instead of like taking accountability, you know what? I could have done stuff better. I wasn't in a good place at the time. She wasn't in a good place at the time. It just didn't work out. It is what it is. Instead of just doing that and like forgiving her like that, I instead tried to feed my ego because I didn't want to be proven wrong and go towards the red pill people to try and get people to agree with me instead of just taking accountability. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. You guys ever notice that the red pill people preach discipline for everything? Your fitness levels, your nutrition, your money, everything. They'll preach discipline, which is great. And then with women, it's like, nah, man, you need to sleep with 50 women. Like, just throw your meat everywhere. That's basically what they say.
Zero.
I'm sorry. See, maybe that's not the most Jesus way to say that, but y'all get what I'm saying. That's really what they teach. I'm seeing some chats come in too. Hold on. Yeah, Brendan. Yep. Some famous artists unfortunately have the same mindset. I'm assuming we're talking about the red pill stuff and all that. I mean, yeah, absolutely. All that stuff is perpetuated through the music too. That's why music is programming. It's why you shouldn't just be listening to things idly. But awesome. Let's go to number 6. We're making good time. Be comfortable leading spiritually. I think you guys know this, but until you've done it, it might feel off. You need to feel comfortable praying over someone because you're going to need to pray over her. You're going to need to feel comfortable leading a Bible study. That's why I said, come lead a Bible study in the hall. Trying to help you. Get used to it. You should be able to lead her in the word. If she has spiritual questions in general, I'm not saying all of them, not saying you got to become some minister, but in general, you should be able to answer most spiritual questions. Making sure you guys don't fall into anything and staying like pure through the courting time, the dating time. It's on both of you, but it's especially on you. All of that's leading spiritually. And guess what? Here's the other thing too. When a woman really trusts you to lead spiritually, this is just my own experience. She's way more fun to be around. She's so much happier. She's so much more joyful. We talk about, like, I know you hear it online all the time. We talk about it in some of the courses, like you want a really feminine woman. I think this is a foundational piece to it, being able to lead spiritually. If you can lead spiritually, you can lead emotionally, mentally, financially, and physically. Because everything flows out of the spirit. Everything flows out of your relationship with God. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added onto you. If you can lead her spiritually, you can lead her in any other way.
I think that's just attractive to women too.
Godly women, yeah. Worldly
Mhm.
women, no, it'll be repulsive to them, but that's good. You either want to be insanely attractive to the type of women. This is where you want to be. You don't want to attract everybody. A lot of dudes are scared of like hoes not liking them. You want the exact type of women you want to be extremely attracted to you, and all the lukewarm women, all the worldly women, like, ew, nah, he's weird. He's too serious. All this God stuff. Can I tell you guys something? When I first like really locked in with God, this would have been right after I got out of high school, I think. I was talking with this girl. It was going good. And she started asking me about my tattoos and stuff. And when she found out like that Christian tattoos like weren't just for show, I was like actually locked in with God. You should have seen her face. Like it was like repulsive. Like she actually got repulsed by the idea that I was locking in with God. And then I got ghosted. I remember feeling bad for a couple weeks after that. I was like, dang, bro, like it's like that. Looking back at it, I'm like, thank God, bro. She was posting her. See, I was about to say something. I'm not hating. I mean, that's not gossip. Wait, that's not gossip. That's truth. She was posting some wild stuff on the internet about 2 weeks after that. That's saving grace right there. You want to be attractive to just godly women. You know how that happens? You be a godly man. You're all in with Jesus. The right women, all right, you guys know like when a woman really likes a guy and like the way that she looks at him, like even if you just know it from movies, eyes open up, like their eyes almost like sparkle a little bit. Oh, I'm just so like that. You guys all know what I'm talking about. That's how my girl looks every time I bring up the word or God. Every time I just go off on a rant. I could be telling her about a Bible study that we did in the hall. I think I did it last week when Nick was doing Bible study. I was talking to her about some of the stuff we talked in there. And I was sharing with her some of the stuff that Nick said because Nick gave Bible study. Nick was giving a word, right? And I shared it with her. Should have seen the look on her face. What did I say last week or 2 weeks ago? Happy as a clam. I don't even know how a clam is happy, but like that. And that's what you want. Go ahead, Kevin.
I was gonna kind of add on to how you said whenever people realize just how real you are on your walk with Christ, how they're repulsed. I forgot which this is a shame on me. I forgot which book and which chapter, but I remember specifically Jesus turning to the crowd when he was traveling. He said, "Yo, you have to hate everything about your life to follow me." And the first time I heard that, I completely missed it too. I was like, "Bro, why would you say that?" But then as I understood it more, it's basically saying, yo, it doesn't matter who it is, it doesn't matter what it is. It's it's so important for your walk with Christ that you almost don't even have to care about what your mom thinks, your brother, your sister, your friend, what anybody thinks. Follow him, he'll guide you.
Amen. Yeah. You know what's another great thing too? I don't know how much I've talked to you guys about this. I feel like at least in the God Pill dating course, Harvey and I talk about this a lot. You be asking deep questions. You shouldn't just be talking about the birds and the weather and all that all the time, right? Just air out deep questions. You need to talk about real stuff. When it's truly a godly woman, she's gonna appreciate that. When you start asking about kids and you guys do the point number one, you guys do like exercises like that together as your relationship progresses, and you start asking actual deep questions, and you go through. Do I still have it up here? Yeah, here you go. The 101 questions before you get engaged is what I did with my girl when she was here last time. If you're doing stuff like that, a woman who you actually want, who knows what she wants too, aka she wants a godly man. She wants to be a mother. She doesn't just want kids, she wants to be a mother. She doesn't want to just be married, she wants to be a wife. That type of woman's going to be attracted to that. And that's, man, I pray everyone in here gets that. Be bold. Amen. Yep, Brendan. Absolutely. We making sense? I feel like we covered this one pretty good. You guys want to go through last one and then we'll just kind of open it up. Cool. I don't even remember what number 7 is. Oh, that's right. Learn the proper way to be vulnerable. I'm gonna fix a red pill insecurity that you probably had for a long time in 30 seconds. Actually, it's gonna take me a bit longer than 30 seconds, but here we go. Harvey explained this to me, stuck with me forever. A lot of people, you'll hear it online. Oh, I opened up to her and then it got thrown back at me. I opened up to her and it ended the relationship. Stuff like that. Maybe some of you have experienced that. There is a difference between being vulnerable with your woman and complaining. Most dudes, when they open up, when they become vulnerable, it's a trauma dump. And most of the time, it's never one time. It starts to become this repetitive thing. That is not how you do it. To most women, that eventually will become repulsive. First of all, I'm just going to be real. If you have to be like a robot and you have to be in a good mood all the time, you just got to thug it out no matter what. And if you tell her like the fact that you didn't have a great day and you're like kind of sad because your dog died or something, and she's like repulsed by the idea, oh, he's sad his dog died. What's wrong with him? Not alpha enough. I'm just all right. I'm kind of being facetious here, but y'all get what I mean. That's someone who's fundamentally broken emotionally. This is how Harvey taught me to be vulnerable, and I love it. I'm going to share it with you guys. So when COVID happened, he got laid off. I don't know what you guys remember about 2020, but it was wild. 3 kids, him and his wife just bought a house. Everything's looking great. COVID happens. His 6-figure-a-year job gets laid off from. Could have called his wife and, because he said, he was like, I'll admit, at first I was in a panic. Rightfully so. I'd be scared too, right? He could have called his wife, told her what was going on, panicked, all that. First thing he did was, well, he took a breath, and then he called his mentor. I think his name was Dusty. I want to say it was Dusty. Called Dusty, and he told him what happened. Dusty was like, all right, I have someone who's in a similar industry to you. Let me call them. I'll get back to you. Waits like 30 minutes. The friend of Dusty calls him, offers him a job. Maybe it took a couple hours, but like by the end of the day, he had another job lined up. Then he went home and told his wife about what happened. Because then he could say, this is what happened. It sucked. This is how I was feeling, but don't worry. Sorted this out. Then she didn't have to help him solve the problem. She just had to comfort him, which especially because everyone in here, you want a very kind, nice, feminine woman who's nurturing and loving. That's all you're asking her to do. You're not asking her to fix the problem. You're just asking her to do what she does best.
Asking her to solve the problem puts her in her masculine.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this in the first call too. Luke, you and I might have been the first ones to talk about this. That doesn't mean you just like never make a decision with her, right? It's like you don't just pick up and move across the country and be like, oh, we're moving. And she's like, well, I don't want to move to Alaska. You're like, too bad, I bought the house. We're going. Like, you don't do that, obviously, right? You discuss big things. But am I making sense? Like, this is how you just learn to be vulnerable. And the other piece of this, I want to say this too. If you're going through something, let's say you're doing like some internal work, right? We were talking about insecurities and addressing that stuff earlier. In a healthy relationship, you can be open about the fact that like this is something you have. The stipulation to that is just be like, you just got to show that you're working on it. You're not asking her to like help you fix it. It's just like, yeah, I'm working on this. Me and the Lord have been working on this. These are some of the things that I've been doing to improve that. Because that shows, oh, so this is the problem, but the solution's already there. It's just going to take time. Once again, that's a very healthy way to imagine someone who just came to you and threw all of their problems all of the time on you. No solution, even for us, like that would just be draining. If you just had a friend that did that, you'd be like, man, this is just a negative friend. He's always complaining. I just don't think it's healthy either for anybody. Am I making sense? Am I tracking on this? Cool. That's number 7.
I hope you got something out of today. If you're interested in joining the King's Hall, I'll leave a link down in the description. Like I said, there's a 7-day free trial. You can come try it 100% free. And if you don't like it, like it's not going to charge you anything. So that's linked down below. Be blessed.